Peace. This is Star with the Star Bloom. So this is part two of You Are Not Made for the One. You are the two, remembering that you are the four. All right. So I basically had shown at part one that we have the opportunity to get to these divine gates, which are the karmic loop gate and the divine counterpart gate. With you being the one, you have to understand, or you get to know. I'm going to start representing different mindsets by speaking it a certain way, okay? You get to know that as the one is considered to be a leader, it is a divine threshold. It is a seed, a crystal, so to speak. It's a divine seed that's placed inside of you directly from the Most High, but it is just straight up and down. It don't got no feet, for real. It doesn't have any sturdiness to it. It just is what it is, alone by itself with spirit. It's a personal, individual conversation. This could look like you starting out on your journey, starting to figure out that you're waking up. You're trying to start, understanding what it means to meditate, so on and so forth. What is my divine masculine? How do I connect to my divine feminine? So on and so forth. This is a conversation, individual with spirit, right? What happens is we get on our journey. We have this ability to be at this rate, but nobody really knows why the one is so stuck up. Yet the two does. The two knows. The two is the intuitive partner. Why does the two know? Because the two gets the message that this is the one and this is why the one is the one. And that's because the two's connected to the other part of the threshold. It actually has roots. It got feet, it goes legs, it starts to go down, scavenger hunt. It knows. It is the balance of what makes this what it is. All right. So when we get to a rate on our journey where we have the opportunity to get past a certain cycle that we've been in, what'll happen is that we'll get to a karmic door, a karmic loop door, all right, which is the cycle that we're finishing out, and then we'll get to a divine counterpart door, which is you basically retrieving those soul fragments and parts of yourself, coming into connection with yourself, all right. What happens a lot of the time is, y'all, is that we choose the karmic loop. We choose the, addictions that we don't want to let go of. And we spiral back down in that. We choose the karmic relationship that we fought to get out of, and we'll stay connected and give it one more cycle. We choose the loosening our boundaries that we work so hard, because it only takes for a second for you to get that you made and work so hard to get these boundaries. We'll choose the I forgot about what it is that I was eating, and I decided that my vessel didn't need to be listened to, and I started to work against me and I self-sabotage. So we'll go into this karmic loop door when we get to this 1111, and then we'll basically connect to agreements. All right. So what happens is spirit wants us to have what we want for ourselves, right? So spirit will say, yes, I agree with you. You get to have it. This is the balance. This is the two. We understand that you made this karmic decision. This is where we're at. You'll connect and get a mirror. It doesn't matter if this is a relationship, partnership, whatever. 331. 333. You'll connect with the mirror that is in agreement with the fact that you made this decision, as they have as well, or they're just there to mirror it to you. And then y'all become the four. This is happening around us right now, okay? There's another part of this. All right. Now you do all of this work, all right? You do all of this work. And you heal, you heal, you heal, you heal. Your divine masculine, your divine feminine, locked in. Once we locked in, ain't no switching up type of vibes. I don't know where my pen went to. You locked in. You good. You good to go. When I get to this 1111 gate, all right, I make this decision. I'm going to choose divine counterpart. I'm going to choose myself. All right, I'm choosing myself this time. When I choose myself, right, I actually choose the part of me that allows me to ascend, that allows me to connect to the higher head, that allows me to align to the truth that is with me. And we come into connection, and this makes us two. This is almost like one leg getting his other foot. All right, getting his other foot, one foot having the pair of itself. And this is the divine way. We become two here. This is a anointed root that starts to go down. And what'll happen is when we do that, right? And you see this, this eight that's turned on this side. The reason why the eight is turned on this side, I was so intrigued by this, y'all. This is 314. This is the infinity sign, y'all. This represents the all of what's happening here. You know, this is the sequence. All right. A lot of the times 515, when we come in and out of circumstances, speaking about people who are in the midst of making decisions and being at the rate of the decision that's been made, being in fear, wondering why it's going to be different this time. This is so important. Why it matters this time to choose, to go at a rate where you choose yourself, so you could decide to heal, decide to not necessarily push away anything else, y'all, but to really, really self-reflect and understand these is the lessons that I have gained. And this is the remembrance I now have. And when you get to this rate and you get to the opportunity of getting your mirror, getting your divine counterpart, right? You got to understand that this time the reason why it's different, y'all. The reason why it's different. Where did I keep on? You might have had that 1111 stacked on top of each other. I don't know where the pen, maybe it don't matter. You might have had the 1111 stacked on top of each other. And then you might wanted to connect it with 1111 again. Not 1111 again, but another two. You might have 1 1 and then 1 1. They might just be stacked on top of each other. That's cool. That's great, right? But anything could mess with this foundation. This might not be a solid foundation. This might not be really rocked up here. This might be, a lot of karmic loops still connected to that thing, right? The reason why it's going to be different this time, y'all, is because there's a divine tethering that's going to be woven in between these two people who choosing they divine counterparts, who choosing they higher self, who choosing the most high, who choosing to go towards their mission, who choosing to be aligned to themselves, who choosing to be aligned to what's great for everybody. And in the midst of being in this space to where I could actually see and be operating in universal law, be present and on my mission, whatever I link up with, we both chose mission. So, right, this connection is also mission. This connection is also alignment. This connection, this tether connecting each together is also anointed with the divine plan. And it's not going to take me off of, I won't have to sacrifice what I'm doing in spirit for me to be able to be in this connection. I don't have to remove my intent, because even pouring intention into this connection gets me higher to what it is that I need to be. Why? Because you need to be at this four. The four represents stability. It represents the foundation. It represents the will. And a lot of us have been operating off our own will because we had these ideas and we got the physical thing, and the physical thing looks good, y'all, but it wears off. All right. It wears off. A lot of people are experiencing this. They calling it karma. They thinking, oh, it looked like people were winning until they weren't winning, right? But that's because from the physical to where you're at is it stays, right? But from spirit to it's infinite. It's infinite. It's steady. It's steady. It's not just really, it's a box, but it's one that'll carry and keep you and have you and protect you. It's those four pillars. It is the true 1111 gate. All right. And sometimes we go to this gate and we meet this space 909. We be in representation of this space at different rates of ourselves, right? But a lot of us are at this gate trying to become the four, so we can be in the remembrance of our true selves at a higher rate at this point as the couple. All right. And it's important that we represent the truth of the work that we've done, of being the caterpillar to the butterfly, of knowing how to house and be in the memory of the frequency that we're now here to echo and speak out of. Okay. It's the big deal, y'all, because this is like these missions being activated and cultivated and initiated. Okay. um I hope this helps. I hope it's not too much. Um, I know that it's going to help. Peace. I love y'all.